All right, hello. Let's establish a few things before we get started. Yes, I am still looking rough. I still need a retwist badly. I know. Shut up. All right. Number two, the whole camera setup and lighting and everything. I still need to work on that as well. I am not a rich man. You have to either bear with me or give me some monies so I can fix all of this and all of this. Now, third, we are getting into the contents of this video and the contents of this channel because it is brought to my attention many a times before, and I thought, heck, you know what? Why not? What the fuck ever? Let me just do it. So, pretty much a lot of people, when I say a lot of people, probably about a handful of people, but hell, even more than two people to me saying the same thing over and over again makes me feel the entire world is conspiring against me. Therefore, I said, you know what? Let me just give them a bit of something so people would shut up and stop plotting against me. Anyways, so this channel, this video particularly, and this channel is going to be more so of a personal experience, a personal, I guess, diary to some sort, but not necessarily really personal, simply because it's going to be viewable on YouTube and people can find it for free. I will share these videos out. I will share this channel out for those who are interested in just getting to know me and all that other good stuff. And there's going to be Q&As as well pertaining to me, or just if you want to ask me questions about certain things and you want my thoughts on it, on that, whatever the case is, it will all be on this channel. So to get into this video, because I've been doing YouTube long enough to know that people's attention spans is like this, meaning zero. They ain't got one. So you got to get into the videos real quick. So as you see, the title, is it caring or comparing? And what I mean by this comes from this idea that a lot of people, again, the people, I'm not going to name names, but a lot of people have stated to me that they wish I was more, or I was less of a private individual, that I was more, I guess, open. Okay, now I can understand why people would say that. I am indeed a very private individual, not really open about a lot of things. I do want to become a more open individual to some extent. I don't want to be so open to everybody knows my fucking business, but I do want to be more open, more out of, I guess, this bubble shell box that I tend to put myself in at the end of the day. Because at the end of the day, it's not necessarily anybody else putting me in these boxes, although all of why that people believe I'm such this private person, some of it partially has to actually do with y'all. And I don't mean y'all as in y'all are too damn nosy or whatever. I mean y'all as in y'all just don't really pay attention, and I don't really think a lot of people actually care to know what's going on personally, but they just want to know what's the secret sauce that I have in order for me to maintain whatever the fuck I maintain. I can tell you right now, it's not Jesus Christ, no disrespect. But what I will say is, like I stated before, I do believe that I want to be more a more open individual. And part of why I'm doing this channel is that. So that if you're here for all of that, if you're here just for this video, then cool. I will say, if you have an attention span of 0, you're probably not going to like this channel, simply because the videos are going to be long. I will say that videos can be as long as an hour. Can be. Once again, can be as long as an hour, because I want to make sure that I say everything. And if it comes to the point where I feel as though, okay, I don't want to go up to an hour, then sure, I will do parts 1s, 2, 3, 4s, and whatever, however long I need to make these videos. I know this video here is going to be one of the more longer ones, and I'm not splitting it into parts. So, but it is something that I wanted to talk about. This whole aspect of, do people actually really care about me or just individuals in general when they say that they want us to be more open? People want to know more about us, or do they really just want to compare their life and our life? And because we're so private about our lives, or they know only so much about our lives, that they can't necessarily compare as much as they probably want to, if they're the individual, if they're the type of individual that wants to go around comparing lives and stuff, because, well, they can't really, they don't know much about us, so they can't really compare much if they don't know much. So that's my thing. It's if you truly care, and I can't speak for all the introverts out there, I can't speak for all the private individuals out there, but I can only speak for me. Me personally, like I said, the reason why I am the way that I am is because I just feel as though that's just naturally who I am. It has zero to do with me being ashamed of whatever is going on in my life, because the thing is, I don't think people understand this aspect, is you can ask me anything pertaining to my life, pertaining to whatever. If I have a response, if I have an answer to it, I am going to tell you. There are certain things that I share without even being asked, and then there are certain things where people have to ask me. And I believe some people think that's a problem for some reason. I don't think that's a problem. Why would asking a question to say, if I were to ask you right now something that you never shared to somebody, and you decided you didn't want to tell me, or you did tell me, I'm not going to get upset with you and say, why did I have to ask you that question? If it has nothing to do with me and my life in general. Now, if I'm involved in that situation some way, somehow, then you kept it, then that's a whole totally different story. But a lot of the times when people ask me things, it has zero to do with them anyways. But they still feel as though that I owe them my life, or my life meaning that I owe them an explanation as to, why I do this, or, an answer to everything, simply because the people that they see on Facebook, on Twitter, on whatever social media platform is pretty much bearing everything that they do and that's going on in their life. They themselves are someone that bears everything that goes on in their life, but when they see someone who doesn't do that, it's seen as a threat, and those are the individuals that are on the side that I would say are trying to compare. Those are the individuals who want to compare your life. If you're someone who tends to not be so, I guess, open or whatever, right? They want to compare your life with theirs. They want to know what the hell is going on in your life. That how is it that how is it and why is it that you're not on Facebook complaining about your financial situations like they are, or complaining about failed relationships like they are, or complaining about whatever like they are? How come you're not doing it? What's so special about you? Or whatever. And it's not that we don't have these issues. It's not that we don't have financial troubles, that some of us don't have relationship issues, that some of us don't have whatever other health issues, or what mental health issues, physical health issues, whatever issues. It's not that we don't have issues, period. It's that we don't feel that taking to Facebook or taking to social media and talking about them is how we go about solving these issues. On the contrary, you have people who don't necessarily celebrate on social media as well. And I am someone that kind of falls in that category as well. People have needed to tell me, you need to celebrate this more, when you have an accomplishment or whatever, because people need to know that you did these things, or you did this, or you did that, this, that, and the third. And again, that is something that I also want to work on as well. That's what I mean by I want to be more so open. It's because I also, and just as much as I don't celebrate the L's, I don't necessarily, or not celebrate, but I don't, showcase the L's on social media. I don't necessarily do that with the W's as well. Unless it's something big like announcing a book or whatever that I just dropped, which obviously I have to talk about it, because if I want sales on the book and I want people to read the book, I have to put it on online, right? I have to talk about it. So, or that, or my clothing line, and, things of that nature. So, but those aren't the only things or the only W's that's happened in my life, But if you ask other people, they might think so, because that's the only thing that I put out there on social media. And they wouldn't be wrong in assuming that, because again, that's on me. If I were to put out, I can't be upset at them and be like, how do you not know I don't do X, Y, and Z? And if I'm not showing X, Y, and Z. Now, there are situations where I do actually show X, Y, and Z. In fact, I show the entire alphabet from A to Z. And people tend to only want to pay attention to what they want to pay attention to. And what they want to pay attention to depends on how many other people are paying attention to whatever that thing is. And I think that's also a problem as well if you're an individual asking it or demanding or asking people to be more so upfront when you're not even going to listen to them in the first place. You're not even going to pay attention to what they put out there in the first place. If you're asking me or anybody else to be more open and to post more about this, post more about that, but you don't necessarily care about it, why are you asking in the first place? Again, that tells me that you're not someone asking out of care because you really want to know, you really just want to know more about me. It's because you want to compare. You want to compare my relationship with yours or my love life with yours. You want to compare my accomplishments versus what you may have accomplished. You want to compare my failures, my losses, my roadblocks compared to your failures, losses, and roadblocks. My life and your life. You just want to compare. And the thing is, I'm not here to compete with anybody. Therefore, you're not going to use my life to compare with yours. I'm not going to allow that willfully. Let me put it that way. Now, if I put out something, like if I say something in one of these videos, if I put out something on social media and you do so, there's no way I can stop you from doing it. Just know that you're in this competition with me by yourself. Just like I'm in this competition with myself, by myself. There's a difference between me being in competition with me and you being in competition with me, but I'm not even willfully in this competition or competing against you. Why? Because I don't want that. I don't want that. That's not what I'm here for to do. I'm here to do what I want to do. I'm here to do what I am destined to do. And competing with you, comparing my life with yours, or putting myself out there so you could compare your life with mine, that's not a part of my destiny. It's not what I want to do. So there's that aspect. Now, for those who actually do care, this is the channel for you. This is the video for you. And hence why that's the other part as to why I'm doing this. There are a lot of people out there who actually do care about me, who actually do care to know what's going on in my life, what went on in my life, certain aspects about my life, and they simply, for some reason, are too shy to ask, or they feel that they are being too, if they do ask, that I guess they feel that they're being too, what's the word? Nosy, I guess. It's the best word I could think of right now. Right? Just to reiterate once again, this goes to anybody, stranger or not. You can ask me anything, and I am the individual. You can even ask the individuals who have asked me things. I tell everybody, anybody, anything. If I already haven't studied it before, ask me, and I'll say it again. Even if I have stated it before, ask me again. and I will state it again, especially if I stated it in a podcast, in a video, somewhere else. And that's another thing that a lot of people tend to forget or tend to not understand about me is, or I would say misconstrued about me, being super private, is they think that I don't talk about myself. They are like, you always talk about this in your podcast. You always talk about that in your podcast. Or, this in videos, that in videos, this on social media, that in social media. But again, they're not paying attention to the hundreds, thousands, over multiple thousands maybe of times over the years that I've been on social media where I've talked about myself. On my podcast every week, there's always the last segment of the podcast is always a motivational message that more so pertains to myself, and it's meant to motivate others. There have been times where I've dedicated entire episodes of my podcast, and I've been doing it for 4 years now. Entire episodes of my podcast, or one of my podcasts, let me put it that way, talking about myself. So this idea that people have, and again, I understand where it's coming from, but it's not accurate. And I'm not going to sit here, whether you made those comments out of to be shady or not, I'm still not going to sit here and act like y'all are 100% right in your assessment. You are onto something. I'll give y'all that. You are totally onto something, and you're right to an extent. But to make it seem as though I'm just out here not sharing anything about myself, that's totally false. You're just not looking in the right places. And hell, even when I tell you where to actually look, you still, for some reason, choose to look in a different direction. You still choose to. If I tell you there's two doors, right? This door is the door that's going to show you everything that's going on in my life right now. You're going to see everything from birth to now, to what's going on now. This door is just an empty void, nothing. And I tell you, open this door, and you still open this door. Whose fault is that? I'm telling you which door to go. I showed you which door to go. You still went to the other door, and now there's an empty void. And then you're saying, damn you, Ernest, you lied to me. You never tell anybody anything. You're not vulnerable. Nope, I did. I told you where it was. You decided not to listen to me, and you chose the opposite door. I showed you where it was, and you decided not to listen to me, and you chose the opposite door. Whose fault is that at the end of the day? Not mine. So it all goes at the end of the day. If you're someone who cares, or you truly care, part of caring about people in general is actually listening to them, is actually paying attention to what they say. And I understand if you're someone who's not even on social media like that. Or if you're someone that's like, well, you post your podcast on this platform, and I don't necessarily have this platform, but you have Spotify or Apple, which, okay, Spotify and Apple podcasts are not the podcast hosting platform like Anchor is, but you can still listen to the podcast on those platforms. So the excuses, and I'm saying this because these are excuses people have stated. The excuses at the end of the day have to stop. The excuses from myself that I tell myself as to why I should hide this news or whatever, they have to stop. But also the excuses people tell me have to stop as well. Because at the end of the day, if you truly want something, you're gonna make the effort to get it. If you truly want to get to know somebody or know more about somebody, you are going to have to put in that effort to getting to know them. Expecting people to trauma dump onto you, expecting people to just dump on social media so you can feel better about your circumstances, for those who want to compare their lives to others. Yeah, that's not happening. And that's not happening over here. Let me put it that way. Your other people can do that, and you're probably tired of seeing their drama and their bullshit. And I'm probably one of the very few, if not the only individual on your friends list or the people that you follow on social media. It's not doing that bullshit, and you feel a way about it. Now, I don't know if y'all hear that going on out there. Drilling or something. I don't know. This video is pretty much almost over. I just wanted to say here, once again, to reiterate the message of caring or comparing when it comes to getting to know somebody or trying to get an introvert to open up. If you're someone who truly cares about that individual, you will start with listening to them. Everybody wants to be listened to, whether you're an introvert or not. I don't care what all the other introverts are going to say. Me, I love it when people listen to me, when actually people, and when I say listen to me, I don't simply just mean watching this video, although watch, share, subscribe, and like, and all that stuff. I don't simply just mean listening to a podcast. I mean actually remembering something I said. That's listening. You watching this video is you just simply just hearing my voice, unless you actually remember something I said in this video, if not everything that I said in this video. Same goes for my podcast, same goes for everything else. That's listening, and I love that. So that's part of how you can show the introverts in your life that you care about, that you actually care for them, is to actually listen to them and prove that you actually are listening to them when they speak. Okay? If you're someone that just wants to compare your life against theirs, and them not showing you everything makes you feel threatened in a way because you cannot compare their downfalls and yours, and their W's and yours and stuff, get help. Get help. There's nothing that I'm gonna tell you. There's nothing positive. Get help is positive, but what I'm saying is there's no excusing what you're doing, is what I'm saying. You're not gonna get an excuse from me for your actions. That's not something that anyone should be doing. I think it's whack. It's lame. I don't care how many other of your Facebook friends are doing it, or you done it to them. It wasn't right when you did it to them. It's not right if they're doing it to you or they're doing it to anyone else, and it's damn sure not right if you're doing it to me or anybody else for that matter. So there's that. The video is less than an hour. Still a pretty lengthy one, I guess. But anyways, like I said, here is the first video in this channel. For those, once again, who want to talk about, you're so private, you don't tell us anything. Here's the first video of an entire channel dedicated to me telling y'all stuff. Now, the ball is in your court. If you decide not to pick it up, I'm going in your court. I'm picking the ball up, and I'm doing the 360 windmill dunk and going on my court and just having a good old time, because I have fun on my court. I don't know what you're doing on your court. So there's that. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Until next time, until next video, you hear from me when you hear from me, and see from me when you see from me. Peace out.